Welcome to Sports Guy Talking. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Kevin Durant's home debut for the Phoenix Suns. The fans in Phoenix finally got to see Kevin Durant play in person as the Suns beat the Timberwolves by the score of 107-100. Kevin Durant did not have the greatest game out there, but it sure was nice for Suns fans to finally see Kevin Durant play for them at home. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So here it is. Are the Suns favorites to win the Western Conference with the return of KD? And honestly, when you look at this Phoenix Suns team, they are really nice. Even with the loss of Mikal Bridges, even with the loss of Cam Johnson, even with the loss of Jay Crowder, the Phoenix Suns are still a relatively deep basketball team. When you look at the Phoenix Suns, they may only be the 4th seed in the Western Conference, but they are a heck of a 4th seed because this team is a lot better than the 4th seed record that they are indicated to have in the Western Conference. When you look at this Phoenix Suns team, they got stars all over the place. They got a nice bench too. You look at the Phoenix Suns, they've got Kevin Durant, they've got Chris Paul, they've got Devin Booker, they've got Deandre Ayton as a 4th option, and then you got Josh Okogie, not a bad 5th option either. Off the bench, they've got Torrey Craig, TJ Warren, Bismack Biyombo, Cameron Payne, Terrence Ross. They got weapons all over the place, and they got Damian Lee too off the bench. Landry Shamet can also play off the bench if necessary. So when you look at this Phoenix Suns team, they are as deep as any in the National Basketball Association. And when you look at the Phoenix Suns, they can beat anybody, anywhere, any place, anytime. What is more important than a superstar? Nothing. There's nothing more important than a superstar in the NBA, and that's exactly what the Phoenix Suns have. They now have mid-range masters all over the place. They've got Devin Booker, already a mid-range master. They've already got CP3, a mid-range master. And then they got Kevin Durant, who's the king of mid-range shots. The Phoenix Suns got 3 guys that can shoot the mid-range extremely well, and they've got Deandre Ayton, a guy that can grab the rebounds, and they've got Josh Okogie, who can provide spacing for them from the 3-point line. They've got wings that can play defense. They've got guys that can protect the paint. They've got guys that can hit outside shots. When you look at this Phoenix Suns team, how are you going to beat them in a close game? You can't. Not when Kevin Durant, CP3, and Devin Booker are all on the floor at the same time. If it's 5 minutes left to go and it's a close game, the Phoenix Suns can win any given game because that's how good the Phoenix Suns are. They've got that much talent, and they've got an elite basketball coach in Monty Williams. When you look at Kevin Durant, you just think, oh man, he can fit in almost next to any other superstar or any other team, and that's exactly what he showed for the Phoenix Suns. Yeah, he only put up 16 points. Yeah, he didn't shoot the greatest in the world, but you know what he also provided? He provided them defense and rebound. And Kevin Durant doesn't have to be the greatest defender out there. He just has to show a little bit of effort on the defensive end of the floor, which is exactly what he was doing. As long as he puts in effort on defense, the Phoenix Suns are going to be a fine basketball team on the defensive end of the floor. Are they going to have guys that play elite defense all the time with Kevin Durant? No, of course not. They gave that up to get Kevin Durant, but that's the kind of price that you have to pay in order to get a Kevin Durant, because that's how good Kevin Durant is as a basketball player. The Brooklyn Nets were not going to give up Kevin Durant for free. That's just the reality of the situation. They've got a really good team, and they can beat anybody, anywhere, any place, anytime. And right now they're projected to play the Los Angeles Clippers in round 1 of the NBA playoffs. I honestly think that the Phoenix Suns can beat them, because you look at the LA Clippers, Paul George is hurt. They've got Kawhi Leonard, they've got Russell Westbrook. Then what? You could say that the Clippers have nice players off the bench. You could say that they have nice depth pieces. But you know who else also has that? The Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns have a very deep roster, and they could probably beat the LA Clippers in probably 5 or 6 games if we're just keeping it real. That's how good the Phoenix Suns are. And if they somehow play the Golden State Warriors in round 1 of the NBA playoffs, they're probably also going to beat them too. I hate saying this as a Warriors fan, but the Phoenix Suns, they're a better team than the Golden State Warriors. Any non-biased fan could probably tell you guys that. And the Phoenix Suns, also note this as well, they have a 25-12 record at home. That means that they are really good at home, and they know how to win their home games. They are as good as any team when it comes to playing at home. So when you look at it from that perspective, they're going to have home court advantage against either the LA Clippers or the Golden State Warriors. And everybody knows that the Golden State Warriors have trouble winning on the road. If you're the Phoenix Suns, you have to feel really good about who you play with in round 1, knowing that you're not truly a 4 seed, and that in the NBA playoffs, it is all about matchups. And for the Phoenix Suns, their favorable matchups can go either way. If they play the LA Clippers, it's a favorable matchup. If they play the Golden State Warriors, it's a favorable matchup. If they play against any of the other teams from the play-in tournament, then it's a favorable matchup for the Phoenix Suns. And then you look at round 2 of the NBA playoffs, they're going to have to be going up against the Denver Nuggets most likely. And I will admit that will be a tough matchup for the Phoenix Suns because the Nuggets are probably going to have Nikola Jokic, who's going to be probably coming off his 3rd MVP season in a row. Even if he doesn't win it, he's one of the best players in all of basketball. And they've got Jamal Murray now. And the Nuggets, they do have a very nice roster. And there is a reason why they do have the NBA's best record in the Western Conference. It's because they are a well-coached team that has a really good roster around them. It's going to be a tough team for the Phoenix Suns to beat. But honestly, they could probably pull that off if we're keeping it real, because if the Phoenix Suns can stay healthy, this is a better roster than the Denver Nuggets. But even then, I'm not so sure that should be the case, because you look at the Phoenix Suns, they haven't had the chemistry that the Denver Nuggets have got to experience, just simply because Kevin Durant joined the team mid-season and he hasn't gotten to play in a lot of regular season action. So when you look at it from that perspective, the Denver Nuggets are going to be a better team than the Phoenix Suns, but I can't say confidently that the Denver Nuggets are significantly better than the Phoenix Suns. So I'm going to say the Nuggets are slightly better than the Phoenix Suns, but my opinion can change when the NBA playoffs start. Still a long ways to go. We know how the NBA playoffs go. They take forever to finish. And you look at all the other teams in the Western Conference. The Phoenix Suns, if they went up against the Memphis Grizzlies in the 7-game series, they're going to beat them. The Grizzlies, they talk a lot of trash. They play inspired basketball, but they don't have the superstars that they need in order to stop the Phoenix Suns. And as for the Sacramento Kings, congrats to them. They made the NBA playoffs for the first time since 2006. I need to give them a shout out for that, so I'm doing that right now. But let's be honest, if the Phoenix Suns and the Sacramento Kings met in a 7-game series, the Phoenix Suns would easily beat the Sacramento Kings because the Suns have major playoff experience that the Sacramento Kings just don't have. The Suns, to me, on paper, are the second best team in the NBA playoffs in the Western Conference. The only thing for me is, are they better than the Denver Nuggets? Because I don't think the Phoenix Suns are better than the Denver Nuggets, but they're not that far behind. It's not an outrageous take to say that the Phoenix Suns are a better team than the Denver Nuggets, although I'm not convinced yet, but that's just because they haven't played enough regular season basketball. However, if the Suns do play with Kevin Durant in more regular season games, they could possibly become favorites in the Western Conference, but as of right now, I would say no to that question. I don't think the Suns are the favorites in the Western Conference, just because the Denver Nuggets have shown that they are the best team in the Western Conference pretty much all season long, and their home record is tremendous as well. That's how I'm seeing it. So that is why the Suns are not the favorites to win the Western Conference, even with the return of KD for the Suns. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That will be for the @DustinTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinTran and @Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel Sports Guy Talking.